All right, guys, welcome in. It is a Monday now. We are talking about January the 13th. Good Christ, I don't even know what day it is. January the 13th. It is Monday 2020. Time for another edition of the Happy Hour Tip-Off Show. It is powered by WagerTalk.com. Ralph Michaels, I'm Joe Ranieri. College basketball is what is on everyone's mind. Maybe not so much today, Ralph. There is a national championship game still to be decided in football. Seems to be where a lot of the attention is. But we still had plenty of college hoops over the weekend that we want to take a look at and kind of recap for everyone in case you missed anything, get you caught up with what's going on. There are a couple of games here today. I know you have some angles on that we will also talk about, some of the added games to the card. But I do understand you've got you got an announcement going on here for our friends at Sports Memo.
Well, you know, Joe, we talk about Wager Talk a lot, and obviously Wager Talk acquired Sports Memo, and oftentimes specials are the same between both companies. But I just want to reach out to all of our viewers. You've got Joe Ranieri, you've got Teddy Covers, you've got Matt Joseph, you've got a lot of good handicappers over at Sports Memo. And if you're not taking advantage of the current special now, shame on you. We know oftentimes these guys have a 5% play that sells for $40. Monday and Tuesday still available this week. You can get 7-day all access for $49. Think about it. One plays 25, a 5% plays 40. You're getting 7 complete days for $49. On Wednesday, the special continues for another week. It'll be a $59 all-access special. So it's just, hey, listen, this is the year of Sports Memo. It's building. There's great handicappers. It's going to be right there with Wager Talk as far as views go. If you haven't been there, jump over there now. $49 all-access still Monday or Tuesday, and then next week. You could buy 1 week for $49 this week. It'll expire next week. You'll be able to buy that same capper for $59. A great way to try your favorite capper at sportsmemo.com.
You love that. Yeah, the guys over there are fantastic, and I'm not just saying that because I'm there. They are truly they are great guys. So it is a new year. It is time to make it a profitable 2020. Of course, it doesn't hurt to hang out with us here, certainly on the college hardwood, Ralph, as what can you say? I mean, it was a monster weekend Saturday, plenty of games, 70 games on Saturday, had some really
30 upsets.
30, exactly, I was going to say.
30 upsets.
It was hard to keep track, Ralph, because I got to tell you, it was every time we turned our head. Yesterday we had a share of upsets, but even Saturday was just very hard to keep track of. As we take a look at the sheet here, guys, on some of these the biggest upsets of the day. Now I'm assuming the top is that would be Saturday. All right, so the bottom is Sunday. All right, it's in the right order here, Ralph. So talk to us here about what were you impressed about, or what blew you away the most of those 30 upsets.
Well, I mean, it's freaking Long Beach State. The team going in was 5-12. You know, early this year they took UCLA to the wire, then they beat San Diego, then they beat Providence, and then they can't beat anyone. They go through a stretch, and then all of a sudden, as a 14-point dog, they knock off Santa Barbara. And there's been missed opportunities for me. You know, I've been on St. Clair earlier, and they just did such a no-show that I was afraid to back them against St. Mary's. But St. Mary's was off that double overtime war against BYU. And, you know, they were in the flat spot of the weekend, and Santa Clara did what you had to do. You know, they're a veteran team, 5 returning starters. Herb Sendek, the head coach, knows what to do. And, you know, St. Mary's doesn't lose many home games. Impressive. And Tulane, I mean, Hunter goes from Georgia State to Tulane, has them playing defense, and that's their second big. Well, they went to UConn last week. They didn't pull the upset, but they covered easily, and now you go into Temple and cover. So powerful teams. Tulane's the most impressive to me, where Hunter has turned that team around in 1 year.
Yep. Yeah, no, that was good yesterday, too, though. Some big upsets. I mean, there's some teams that we've talked about. You don't have to look any far. I'll start with the last first, Ralph, since it only happened about 12 hours ago. But how about Oregon State? Taking on Arizona State there, and at home they were a 4-point dog, and they didn't just beat Arizona. They stuck it to them there too, 82-65. Big upset win for a Beavers program. Let's face it, that's really on the rise.
Yeah, we're going to see down below that, when we get the best performances, that it was the coach's son who got him there, like he always does. And Arizona, Joe, just another spot you have to pay attention to. They were off an absolute war against Oregon.
Yep.
A 1-point loss in overtime. In the Pac-12, you're always playing those regionalized teams, back-to-back road games. And what happens? The second team benefits from them having a war in the first game, and that happens in the Pac-12 more than it doesn't.
Yeah, it's interesting. You look at the top, you see a lot of all the away teams with some of the biggest upsets there over the weekend, but a lot of these home teams, Illinois, Chicago, Wright State. We've talked about Wright State, really the class of the division there, but not yesterday.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, they are the class of the conference, but you get a team and you shot 40% from 2-point land, and they shot 29% from 3-point land.
Yep. If
you have the defense to keep their shooters from get it going early, Wright State had 10 points the first 10 minutes of that game. So, be it them being cold, being it Illinois, Chicago defense playing well, the Flames deserved the win. They looked like the better team on the court. And you could see, there was only 4 upsets of dogs or 2 or more by Sunday, and none were huge.
Yep.
But again, the card Sunday was so small relative to the Saturday card.
Right. And, of course, the biggest guys, and Purdue's not an easy place to play there, Ralph, but a 71-42 beatdown. I mean, Michigan State, everything between Cassius Winston to everything they threw up, they couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat in this game, and it carried over into the second half. And give credit to Purdue and that defense; they didn't make it easy for them at all, and it progressively got worse as the game went on.
2 of 16 from 3 points. And, we had Cassius Winston on last week. What did he have, 38 points?
Yep.
And now all of a sudden you go to Purdue and it's a different baby. He played 39 minutes, had 10 points, 0 of 5 from 3-point land, and 9 turnovers.
Yep.
Cassius Winston doesn't make 9 turnovers in a normal setting.
No, and they usually don't lose by 30 some odd points in the Big Ten there on the road to Purdue. So big win for Purdue. Big performances, Ralph, like you mentioned over the weekend across the board. Isaiah Joe there for Arkansas. What a great comeback! I actually had Arkansas, and it didn't look good at the halftime, but they did a great job on the road coming back to beat Ole Miss.
Yeah, that it was a good performance by him. Anytime you can fight back and come from the road, it gives you a lot of confidence. You see Milwaukee there against Green Bay, and Lucas is a guy that has potential to have some big games. I like those 5-5-3 lines where it's the assists, the rebounds, and the steals. So positive performances. And you see the rankings when you get a Sunday, Marcus Carr for Minnesota.
Yep.
Well, only 21 points, but when you're putting up 12 steals and 12 assists and have 4 rebounds, it puts you up there at the top of the rankings.
Yep. And Arturo also, Minnesota, had a monster game there against Michigan, 30 points, 7 boards, chipped in a steal. Just a big win for Minnesota at home. And another great job there, Colorado and Utah. Colorado, tough team at home, Ralph, any which way you cut it. I mean, you've been talking about them all year long. They are certainly not a team that you can sleep on in the Pac-12 at all.
They are not. I mean, to me, they are a legitimate tourney team this year, and I really think that they have the guard play to do it. They were coming off a loss to Oregon State at home, so they had the bye week, so they didn't play anyone midweek. And that's the other thing you have to look at is when you're playing your one-off rival, like Colorado played Utah or Arizona played Arizona State last week, you don't have a midweek game. So the team that needed the rest, probably has a little bit of an edge there. And, they dominated that game. What was it, 91-50,
Yep.
52 maybe? And to me, Colorado is a team right now. They sit at 3 losses to Oregon State, Kansas, and Northern Iowa. The Northern Iowa loss was bad, but if they run through and win half of their games from here on out and get to 22 wins, I think they're an at-large team. They're worthy of an at-large bid.
Yeah, and then of course some of the ATS covers, the totals, Ralph. Some of the some of the big numbers there over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. I mean, I'll give you credit. I know that TCU taking on Miami. Boy, Oklahoma State's just fallen, Ralph. Are they not? I don't even know what to make of them anymore. They just, they were dealing with some injuries, and it started off promising, and it's been all downhill for Oklahoma State ever since.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of it either. I mean, their offense has just gone to pieces.
Terrible.
And, it's not as if though, they've had an issue. 3 of the guys had made all 15 starts. Ani missed that one game, but he's made 14 starts. And Isaiah like Keeley, missed a couple games, but he's played the last 4. So you have this same Oklahoma State team that to me was a top 40 team to start the year. Just things aren't going right, and I don't know why.
No, it's funny. TCU, not a great free throw shooting team either, but that is ridiculous. 38 points under in that game, 52-40. First one to 50 wins. Ralph, I thought we were watching a Virginia game, but that's a winner. I mean, any which way you cut it, that is a winner. And then of course Mizzou, Florida, is another one of those situations, Ralph, where Mizzou just at home just drubbed Florida there. I don't know if was it a scheduling situation, Florida? I mean, 91-75, Ralph. It was, and that was a total of what, 129?
Yeah, Florida was a team that we thought was gonna be there, and we saw them struggle early, and they got healthy and they were fine, but you go to Missouri, and Missouri shot 63% from 3-point land. So, you're making, you shoot 60% from 2-point, and that doesn't top what your 3-point shots was. So yeah, when you're 12 and 19,
yep.
That's gonna get you a lot of points. And it wasn't one guy. I mean, when you look at Missouri, and they had 4 guys score 10 points, and the leader only scored 22 in Drew Smith. So, a lot of times when you have a game like that, one guy might go 6 or 7 from 3-point land, and everyone weighs off him. But it wasn't that way at all. It was really just a balanced effort by them. So that's that. You feel much better when you're Missouri. If you have one guy that shoots 10 of 11 from 3-point land, is that going to happen again? No. But if you have 4 or 5 different guys that are double digits or close to double digit scoring, that's the type of team effort that you can get a lot of wins from, because you're not one guy's not having to carry you the entire way.
Yep. And guys, like we had mentioned, of course, it is a very slow day. A couple of added games to the card here. Ralph's got a couple of trends that we will get to, but of course, a reminder, like Ralph said, if you're just joining us here, sportsmemo.com got quite the deal going on here today, Ralph. Not just today, really, all week. It's kind of a great opportunity. Sports Memo, Wager Talk, and like you said, often running the same specials each time, are they not? So good opportunity to be able to get in for what, $49?
$49, 7 days, and if there's nothing you like today or you're set, you get anyone tomorrow for $49, but. And if that doesn't fit your fancy, then Wednesday for the next entire week, it'll be the next 7 days for that service for $59.
Can't go wrong with that, guys. And, of course, national championship game going on here tonight, Ralph. But on the limited card here, some of these added games, what are some of the trends and angles you came up with?
Well, again, these aren't teams that I regularly follow. Alabama A&M, I'm trying to look at where they are. They're hosting Mississippi Valley State. Well, they're 10-1 ATS their last 11 games at home.
Our favorite, Mississippi Valley State. I love it.
Howard is 3-14 against the spread at home their last 17 games. Howard, as I'm looking through, is they're playing South Carolina State. They're actually a home dog.
Yep.
North Carolina AT&T is 7-0 over their last 7 games, so 7 straight overs. And NC Central 4-15 over under their last 19 games overall.
Yep, and the big mover on the card here, guys, tonight, Southern. This is going to be an afternoon game. Southern taking on Jackson State. Southern opened up as a favorite. That has switched over to Jackson State. Seems to be getting an awful lot of love here on a limited card. But, of course, tomorrow, Ralph, is a whole nother ball of wax here as the card expands and we get back to more Duke Clemson. Clemson coming off of that. They finally won a game at Chapel Hill, Ralph. Clemson finally won a game in North Carolina. I was going to say, if they didn't win it over the weekend, I don't know what the hell to tell them.
Well, Joe, there's going to be a lot of teams this year that say we finally won a game at Chapel Hill. So,
yep.
This sets up for, how many times have we seen a team that the season just collapses, and
yep.
What happens next year? You have that season of revenge when everyone has a chip on their shoulder, and we'll see what happens with North Carolina. But we'll see what happens if Anthony comes back, or if the season's in the tank, he may not even come back. You never know. I mean, he may just say, "Screw it, I'm going to go in the draft and not risk hurting myself again." So that's the case as well. Once it starts snowballing, it may just continue to snowball. Joe, we do have one line game, a regular line game. 861, 862, Montana, Portland State. Montana 6.5, 144.5. Now, to me, my power ratings actually have Montana a little bit higher than this, but I will say this: they're in a spot that, if you don't follow the Big Sky, you look and they blew out Eastern Washington 90-63, and the result was a walkover, but that was a game going in that really was a battle. Eastern Washington was picked by the media, and Montana was picked by the coaches, or vice versa. One of them was picked to win the division, the conference, by one. One was picked to win the other. That really was a war setting Thursday on the road. So we'll see how Montana bounces back off that war situation where they won, now hosting Portland State and giving them the 6.5 points.
There you go. Creeping up, too, as far as the total goes. Open up at 142.5, guys. That's creeping up. 144, 144.5 on the board. So good luck. Not a lot going on the hardwood here today, but again, tomorrow get ready. Back to conference play across the board in all the Big Five national championship game today. But we wanted to have the opportunity, of course, to review what happened over a big weekend in college hoops as we continue the march to madness. There, Ralph. March Madness is. It's just around the corner, so a lot of great opportunities, a lot of good spots on the board coming up here, Ralph, to be able to take advantage of maybe some of these undervalued teams in college hoops so far.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to make a projection.
Go ahead.
That Cameron Alford,
okay,
of Alabama A&M, will be the lead guy for tomorrow's.
That's who we're going. Okay, so the camera. I would say there we go. That he's going to be at the top of the performance list. Yeah, it's probably.
Well, actually, I could just cut and paste him there, but
I was going to say
the legitimate performance.
You better hope he plays. You better hope he plays.
He's going to play, and you know what? You're playing Mississippi Valley State, so I know he's going to score. So that's going to be my guess, that he will have. He will be on top tomorrow.
He'll have 60 of the 120 they're going to score on Mississippi Valley State. Unbelievable. Make sure you guys get to wagertalk.com, of course, sportsmemo.com. Take advantage of the opportunity right now for $49. And make sure you head over to Ralph's page there at CalSportsLV on Twitter and at wagertalk.com. So, Ralph, enjoy the national championship game. We'll do this again tomorrow and get everyone ready for a big slate on Tuesday.
Thanks, Joe. We'll talk to you in 23.